Happy Autism Month. Yay. You know how to put your seatbelt on, like by yourself, like a big girl?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you ready to go see Miss Vanessa?
Yes.
Did you miss her?
Yes.
Yes.
Guys, then I love to sing and I love recordings.
You love your curlies. Happy Autism Awareness Month.
Yay, it's almost today.
Yeah. Can you tell me your favorite thing about speech therapy?
It's a big one and my mom.
You silly girl. Miss Vanessa should be here any moment.
I was there.
Mm-hmm.
I want the Easter time to get candy.
Oh, you know you're getting candy? Who told you?
Mommy.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna find some Easter eggs?
Yeah.
Yeah? I love your hair. It looks so good.
Have fun.
Say bye, Mommy.
Bye, baby. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, happy Autism Awareness Month. I thought it would be great to kick off this month with talking more about Cali and her autism and our autism story from my perspective as a mother. Sorry guys, need my Starbucks. So if you watched any of my prior videos, I do a lot of recording in this setting, and 90% of the time I'm here at Cali Speech Therapy, which is a part of her autism therapy. So let's get into it. My little Cali is 4 years old. She was born in August of 2016. Everything about my pregnancy was great. I did not have many complications with her. I have a history of gestational diabetes and hypertension in pregnancy. I did have both of those with Cali, but the pregnancy was fine. I wasn't on any type of insulin, any type of medication for the hypertension. When the hypertension came on, it was at the very end of my pregnancy. And she came on her own about 4 weeks early, and she was fine, no complications. I had a C-section, and I only had a C-section because with my prior pregnancy with Aaliyah, she suffered shoulder dystocia. So if you know anything about that, after you have a shoulder dystocia, the doctors always want to have a C-section just to be on the safe side. And so that's what we did with Cali. She came out fine. From 0 months to about 4 months. Everything just seemed really normal with Cali. Normal newborn. And I know that they say you don't start to see symptoms and anything like that until the baby is, I think, between 3 and 5 years old. But I'm here to say, as a mother, I saw a difference. I did. And it was more or less in her crying. And I can't really describe it. I'm sorry. I wish I could go more into detail, but it wasn't colic cry. It wasn't, as a mother, you guys know that you learn your baby's cry. You learn when they're hungry, when they're wet, when they're uncomfortable, when, you know what I mean? You learn all of that, and it was none of that. It was just this incredible emotional cry that started at about 4 months. And of course, there's nothing really you can do that early medically. It just turned on my antennas with her, right? So as she progressed, mind you, she's hitting every milestone still. So now we're hitting about 1 year old, where she's more active with her two sisters, Farron and Aaliyah. And we are a dancing family. We are a singing family, where I dance with my girls every day in the living room. And we just like to have fun. That's my creative outlet with them. And the next thing that I noticed was around 1 year old, Cali was very intolerant to all of that. The noise, the movement. She would literally crawl out of the room when we started to dance. And I probably have video footage of that and me pointing that out, kind of laughing about it, like, oh, Cali doesn't want to have anything to do with this. But in hindsight, I believe that was a part of the autism, and just the discomfort with the loud noises and, you know, just being overstimulated. So that was the next thing. When Callie was 6 months old, I became pregnant with my younger daughter, Maya. Now with Maya, you know, she came and she started moving along really fast, having 3 older sisters. So now we're probably at about, Callie is probably going on 2 years old at this point, and Maya's going on 1 year old, or maybe a little over 1 year old. I don't know the timeline. But the next thing I noticed was the speech. So Callie is still very intolerant to too much noise, too much movement. She's not really for that. She really kind of wants to play on her own. When she is playing on her own, she's doing the same things over and over again. Just, she can be content 2-3 hours. If it's building blocks, she can sit there and build the same 4 blocks for a few hours. Like, that would keep her entertained. But now Maya is starting to talk a little bit, and Callie is not. And I know every child is different, you know. You try not to compare children. Everybody is different. But again, mother instinct, my baby is not really talking too much, and Maya is talking a whole lot at this point. So now I'm starting to talk to my husband about it, whom, like most men, like most fathers, are really kind of in denial. Like, oh no, she's really young, she's fine, there's nothing. But again, I'm really tuned in, and I'm just like, okay. Few more months go by, and I'm just like, okay, Maya has now surpassed Callie in speaking. Now Callie is trying to speak, but you can't understand anything that she's saying. I'm going to take her in. Around that time is also when the I don't want to call them tantrums, because they weren't tantrums that she would have. I don't even know the right word to call it, but let me just explain it to you. Let's say I'm sitting in a chair, and Callie is walking past me and accidentally bumps me. And I said, uh-oh, Callie, or ouch. Full-on emotional breakdown. Full-on emotional breakdown. Let's say she goes to try to pick up something that she's not supposed to pick up as a baby. What do you say to that child? No. I would say that, and that would be it. I mean, I'm talking full-blown crying, which took me back to the cries that she would have starting at about 4 months old. Uncontrollable, unconsolable. 2 hours, I'm still crying. I'm throwing up because I'm just so in such distress. And it would just take me so long. I mean, at some points, I said I wasn't gonna cry, because we've come so far from all of that. But outside of my husband, I've never really too much gone into detail, so I apologize. But a lot of the times I would end up crying with her just because as her mom, ooh, give me a moment. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so a lot of the times that that she would go into these emotional moments of distress, I would at the end up crying with her, because as her mama, I would know that something is going on and I can't help her because I don't know what it is. So after I started to see my husband getting very frustrated with these emotional moments of distress, and him not really know how to handle it and not really know how to hide his displeasure in these moments, I decided to have a serious talk with him, let him know that I really do like step outside of the fact that this is your baby, and you know, all of your other babies have not had anything like this happen, and you know, family doesn't really talk about this in the Black community, or they just go on acting like nothing is wrong. If you do have a lot of this going on in your family, you know, it's just not talked about. Set all this aside, okay? Let's be different. Let's take her in to be evaluated. If there's nothing wrong, there's nothing wrong. But if there is wrong, we're that much earlier in getting her whatever services, whatever therapy, whatever she may need. And I was at this time leaning towards autism, right? So we take her into the doctor. At this time, she's about 2.5 years old. Her pediatrician agrees with me. Love my pediatrician. Shout out Dr. Poliquit in Arlington, Texas. But she agrees with me, and she explains to me the process of, you know, she'll have to be seen by a psychologist, I believe, in order to be like really diagnosed if there is anything going on. So we take her to the psychologist. She gets evaluated, and I'm trying to remember the order of things. Okay, she gets evaluated and they diagnose her as on the autism spectrum, a very high functioning autism child, but nonetheless on the spectrum, as far as her emotions and not having a threshold, her speech, and you also saw it in her speech. So from there, we find the program that takes care of like ABA therapy, speech therapy. There's another one that we haven't touched on. I know it's not called food therapy, but in so many words, that's what it is, because children with autism, people with autism, can be very, very picky eaters, which then can affect their weight and everything like that. And I didn't go over the fact that, you know, when she was a little bit over a year, she had fallen way back on the weight scale and had to start those Pediasure like smoothies and shakes to get her weight up, because she was down to like the 13th percentile. But at that time, autism wasn't even on our radar. We were just thinking picky toddler, you know what I mean? But the food therapy, so they take care of ABA, the food therapy, and the speech therapy. in the program that we reached out to. We brought her in, and the first thing that they did was they evaluated her speech, and they said it's too early to tell. Right now it seems like she's just doing the normal, like having the normal speech of a 2.5-year-old, which I knew wasn't it. You know, Cali was my third child, so again, you can't compare one child to another, but there was a big difference. And you know, my heart was broken, and they were like, bring her back in 6 months and we'll reevaluate her. Long story short, sure enough, we bring her back in at 6 months, and what do they say? Yeah, she needs speech therapy. And I'm a lot pissed, because this could have been started 6 months ago had you just listened to me. Okay, had you just listened to me. But anyways, so she got approved right around when she turned 3 years old. For speech therapy, we waited for everything to go through. That was at the end of 2019, and then things kind of slowed down a little bit because of COVID. And right around May, April, maybe like May or April of 2020, she went ahead and we started speech therapy, and it has been wonderful. I don't think that I can show her therapists like on YouTube, because she's still a patient of hers, but I will make sure to get pictures of them and show you guys her therapist, because she is literally one of Cali's best friends. Leaps and bounds. When Cali first started speech therapy, you couldn't understand. She was talking, but you couldn't understand 95% of what she was saying. As her mother, I was catching a little bit more because I'm with her on a day-to-day. So, but the average person, you could not understand what she was saying. Now you can understand most of what she's saying. And it's just been going really well. She's already surpassed all of the first goals that they set for her. And now we're on our second round of therapy. The second round of therapy, which is her last 6 months, is totally by choice, since she has gotten up to her age level as far as speech. They gave us the option to continue one more cycle, since insurance will cover that. And we chose to. Why not have the extra services? And then starting in first grade, I am going to attempt to get her speech therapy at school. With the speech therapist that is there on campus. She does qualify. I have already checked. I opted out of it this year just because we already go to speech therapy twice a week with an outside program. So the next thing on our list is the food evaluation. Again, I'll put it down in the description what the formal name of that therapy is, but we're gonna have it evaluated because she's still super picky, and it's beyond the regular toddler pickiness. So and although she is at the weight that she should be for her age, I still want to be able to have her have a more rounded out palate. You okay?
No.
What happened?
My purple egg is not the clothes.
Do you want me to help you?
My purple egg.
Mama can help you. It's a pretty egg. This is Mommy's favorite color.
And cake, I'm going, and another going. That was cool. I thought another egg could be a Maya, and we almost have an egg.
Okay. Yeah, I just want her to have a more rounded out palate if it's at all possible. So that will be next, and then we will also look into ABA therapy as well, because her threshold is still really low as far as emotions go. We kind of waited on that because that's a very, very expensive therapy to have, and state benefits do not cover it. until recently. I believe actually last May of 2020, I believe they changed that. So I'm going to verify that and see if we can go forward with that. I let my pediatrician know in the beginning that I really wanted to take my time and go through each area slowly and thoroughly, because I wanted her to be comfortable, but not just her. I wanted her and her father, myself and her father, to be comfortable with all of this as well, because it's a lot. It's quite a journey, and you are really just thrown into it. You unfortunately find out, well, let me just say this is my experience. She was diagnosed, and it was just like that was it. I have not heard from her, the psychologist that diagnosed her, since the diagnosis. No check-in, no hey, how's it going. Luckily her pediatrician's office has a family autism advocate, and that has been so helpful. I don't know any other offices that offer that, but because the pediatricians at this office understand that that is common to just have your child diagnosed, and it's just like, all right, go get her what she needs. They decided to, hire someone specifically for that, and it's been a lifesaver. I haven't even begun to touch on some of the issues that we will face getting her therapy, and I've already been warned that as an African American mother, my struggle is going to be, I'll say that, it's gonna be a struggle, and I'm okay with it. I'm her advocate, and if you know me, I go hard for mine, so we will get what she needs. Hey. We will get her what she needs. Yeah, so if you have any resources, any questions, any tips for me, please drop that down in the comment box. I would love to hear from you. I receive any help and any advice that is thrown at me, because this is a journey, and it's a tough one. It's a tough journey to be on, and it's just great to have a team behind you. Before I close out this video, I want to give a special shout out to yeah.
You want to try with it at home?
Yes, we can do this at home, and we can work on these words.
And another
Something that
one.
she received from her speech therapist. And these are the words that she will work on. So we'll cut this out and we'll put it together at home. She gets worksheets home. This is one that she did at speech therapy. This is the one she will do at home. Give me your second one, honey. Maybe Maya can do this one with you. Want Maya to do one with you?
Maybe Farron.
Farron? You want Farron too? Okay.
Not, and we have no more bunnies to make.
Or maybe I can go get copies.
This is for Farron.
Okay. All right. Sit down. We get homework to take home, activities to take home for her to do, so we'll do that with her when she gets home. But yes, before I close out this video, I just want to give a few shout outs to a few people who have really held me down on this journey. The first person being one of my best friends, Miss Rosalind. Girl, I don't know if I've ever thoroughly expressed to you how grateful I am to have you, one, as my friend, two, as the godmother to my daughters. You're just amazing. Rosalind was the first person that God dang it. Rosalind was the first person that I called when I thought that there was something different about Cali. She works with autistic children for a living, and she really just embraced me, embraced Cali, embraced my journey, gave me resources. I mean, just, she was an ear, she was a resource, just all of the above. She just, I love you, girl, and I thank you, and you have no idea how grateful I am to you for being there for me and being there for Cali when no one knew what was going on. My mom, I know you come from an era that, if you're watching this, I know you come from an era where these type of things are not talked about, and it's just, you were not ever closed off to what was going on. You were always an ear, always willing to listen to me, make suggestions. Just know that you are greatly appreciated. I'm gonna close out this video because I am getting super emotional. Last but not least, to my husband, I love you. I thank you for being the best partner, for opening up your mind and just being open to her journey and going along with everything and just learning with me. I love you, and Cali and I are so lucky to have you. All of our girls, we're just super blessed to have you, and we love you. Okay, if you are new here, I hope that you enjoy this type of content and that you will subscribe. If you are already a subscriber, thank you for your continued support. I appreciate you, I love you, and I will see you guys in the next one.